So I'm just going to be playing the tutorial in the background while I let you guys know what you can do that maybe the tutorial doesn't tell you, or maybe you missed, or maybe you just don't know at all. Now, jumping, obviously. But for the most part, the game doesn't tell you that you can revolve around said objects. I like to do this a lot, especially if I'm solo, sneaking around. It doesn't make too much noise, things like that. Alright, so we got jumping down. You climbed up, everything. Now, one thing about this, if you notice the spirit, the ghost, she's kind of delaying her jump, because you can jump immediately, but you can delay your jump to literally the last second. There's also a short hopping. That is another thing with jumping. The longer you hold the space bar, the higher you're gonna jump. If I just tap it, a short hop. But you can still double jump out of short hop. See how I delayed it? A lot of times, in my opinion, that helps out a lot, especially if you're chasing after somebody, or maybe you're getting chased. And say they make a gap. Say you don't have any grappling hooks or anything like that, but the gap doesn't seem too far. If you delay your jump enough, so I'm gonna try to jump a bit early. If you delay your jump enough, you will make it no matter what. And there is obviously a mantling thing in this game, but you can't mantle that. Can you mantle this? Can't mantle that. Okay, well, this kind of showed it and explained it. But obviously, you know, you can make your way up anything. You can move around any wall, and you can climb up or mantle up. So that's jumping. The basics of jumping. There is no fall damage. Take that in mind. This right here, this fallen pillar, sail, whatever. When you're running across it, you see that your character goes into like a sneaking stance. Now, there is a lot of things in the world that have that happen. And from my understanding, when it does happen, your footsteps are a lot more silent, and you can be a lot sneakier going around the map. Because sound is a major thing for battle royales, it's a major thing for this one, and you can hear practically anything happen. So just keep that in mind while running. Wall running is very useful, so you don't have to waste your grappling hooks. Also, when you grapple up to something, instead of using another grappling hook, you can run up it, you can hop up it, things like that. For the most part, that's all that is. Now, there is one thing that they don't tell you with wall running. You can actually... what if I can I maybe do it just on this wall? You can run along the walls. And I feel like a lot of people do not know that. Or maybe they do. Maybe they do it by accident. It's not something that I usually do a whole lot. But it does help, as you can see that it is kind of fast. It does help with movement. Just keep that in mind. I'm gonna pick this up. So sprinting, obviously. Sprinting. Let's get through this really quick, and I will continue on. So, these. You do not need to take your time at all like this. If you look at the ghost, she is going very quickly. And my number one rule in this game is to keep moving. Do not stop. You want to keep moving as fast as you can and continue on, because you guys know how battle royales can be. Third parties happen no matter what. So you can just spam space and you can make your way across as fast as you can. Let's go ahead and do this portion really quick. Okay. Chains. One thing I will say, there really isn't a lot of chains around the map that come in handy. Because I'm going to be honest, when you are on these chains, you are very slow. And you are an easy target. Only use them if they're there, if you're trying to juke somebody out. And maybe they think, oh, he's not going to go into the chains. Jump on the chains. Swing off them. Do whatever. Grappling hooks. Grappling hooks, in my opinion, are the best item in this game. The absolute best item in this game. Now, the thing is about grappling hooks, if you see how the reticle is right now, it's very spaced out. That means you're going to hit nothing. When the reticle tightens up, that means that particular item is able to be grappled to. And in this game, you can go anywhere. Well, you can't go anywhere in the tutorial, but you know what I mean. You can go anywhere in this game. There's pretty much no limitations. The grappling hook I prioritize over everything in the inventory. Now I understand you have your health items. You have your repair kits, which I didn't grab any, which repair kits, obviously they repair the durability of your weapons, they give your ammo back for your ranged weapons, things like that. But say I have no bag upgrades, I will get at least 2 full stacks of grappling hooks, which is 6. 6 is the max for 1 stack. So then that leaves the rest of my inventory to 4 repair kits, and then 2 of each health and shield items. Now, with the grappling hook, there's 2 different things. There is the left click, which it's slower, but it's there for the movement, I guess you can say. And then there's right click, which is a bit faster. And the right click, I would say, is more so for using it on a person. Use the right click on a person, because when you grapple a person, it staggers them. Now, I don't really like to waste my grapples on people. A lot of people will use their grapples on people because that person's running away and you want to catch up to them. What do? You grapple them, it staggers them for a little bit, and you caught up. But the issue is, a lot of times people will grapple. Let me pull out my weapon. People will grapple and start swinging immediately. Now the issue is, by the time you get to that person from the grapple, they probably already moved a little bit, and you're going to completely whiff, and they're already going to be out. So then you just wasted a grapple. You just wasted a grapple. So in my opinion, only use the grapples unless, like, on people, if you really need to. I usually use them, say me and a duo is fighting another team, and I finish off my guy and say he's still fighting and he needs a lot of help, and he's kind of far. If I run, I don't think I'll make it. Go ahead and grapple the guy. You'll stagger him. It'll help out your teammate tremendously, and you guys will probably get the kill. But grapples are your best friend. I mean it. Grapples are your best friend. Like, if you ever wanted like an extra lifeline, it's the grapples. And you can grapple consistently throughout the air. You just have to re-hit the grapple button. Can I do it here? Not really. I'll try to find another spot for this. But anyways, we will continue on. Just remember, grapples are your best friend. And if you miss, try again. You have a lot of time to grapple. Now, keep this in mind. When you are trying to grapple and somebody's chasing you, you are probably sitting still. Well, you do sit still just a little bit. There is like a rev up with the grapple. You will probably get grappled by time. That happens. Don't panic. Just hit your grapple button again. Well, dodge, hit your grapple button again, and just be ready to go on your way. Scaling. This is just like running up the wall. This game, in my opinion, is all about movement. Just keep moving, and keep moving. Now that we're here, can I do it right here? Okay, so this is one thing the tutorial does not tell you. You can actually grab on to the ceiling and sit there. There have been times where I was being chased and I go into a building and I grapple up to the ceiling and I sit there. And some people think, oh, maybe he ran out the other way, things like that, blah, 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 blah. Or you can use it to get the drop on somebody, things like that. So keep this in mind, that you can get up on the ceiling. Can you exactly move around? Not really. Once you're in a spot, you're just there. But it is a good way to get away from people, to hide from people, to get a drop on people, things like that. And as I said, once again, this game is all about movement. Now, we are going to talk about the crouch key. The crouch key, I guess you could say, is the action button for movement. It has a number of uses that the tutorial does not tell you. Obviously, crouching. When you are running and you hit the crouch key, you slide. Now, I'm pretty sure when you slide out of a sprint, you are going a lot faster than just sprinting. So it's very good to do. Say that you're chasing after somebody and they're just running. You'll catch up to them. Or maybe you're running away from Storm. You will outrun Storm. The one thing about it is when you slide, in the end of the animation, you're in crouch. You don't want that. Granted, you can attack out of crouch. There are some good moves out of crouch. But a lot of times it is not worth it, because if you get caught crouching, you are going to get destroyed. I can't stress that enough. So what you can do to fix that is, if you've seen earlier, when you sprint, jump. It'll cancel the animation. And this game has toggle run. I don't know if you can change it to hold, but if you have it on toggle run, you can slide, jump, slide, jump, slide, jump, and you don't have to hit your sprint button ever again. Now the good thing is that sliding does not take stamina. So it is a, I'm not saying it's a method that you can use over dodging, but it is a good thing, like I said, to catch up to people, to run away from people, things like that. Okay. Now, it has another thing that you can do that the tutorial does not tell you, and some people probably don't know either. When you jump into the air, we'll do it off this rock. Okay. Say you jump into the air, okay? Say somebody maybe is chasing you and you're afraid to jump in the air and have all this height, and then maybe they grapple you or you get shot out of the air or something like that. What you can do to fix that is mid-air, hit the crouch button and you will fast fall. Fast falling, in my opinion, has a lot of good uses. Like I said, maybe you're being chased. There was a scenario where this guy was chasing me on top of the roofs of the buildings, and we got to the end of like the last building, and instead of jumping and then continuing going forward, I ran, and I didn't even jump. I slid off and I hit C. So now I'm already on the ground. He could still be on the building, or he's still midair. Instead of going straight, I turn around and go back through the buildings instead of on them. Now, one thing I will say, obviously my number one rule is always to keep moving. Another thing I will say is the floor is lava. Do not be on the floor unless you need to. Unless you need to. Reason being, there's different scenarios. You're on the floor, somebody catches you. And then his team shows up and they're all on you. You're stuck on the ground, there's nothing you can do. It's over. Whereas when you're on a roof, say the whole entire team's on you, slashing at you, stuff like that. If they knock you off the roof, that gives you enough time to gather yourself and get out of there. Probably the biggest instance is after you're done with a fight and you go to loot. Say this guy had a purple shield, you had a blue shield. Yours is broken, but when you pick up a shield off somebody, it's broken and you have to fix it, right? So what you need to do, what you should do in my opinion, is instead of taking that extra 5-6 seconds to fully heal the armor, grapple up onto a building and go up there and heal. Because there's been too many times it's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people. Maybe you're looting and they get to drop on you, or you loot this armor and you're starting to heal and they get to drop on you. Do not, like I said, do not, I repeat, all of you should not be looting at the same time, just sitting there in these bodies looking for loot. Because there is a weapon in this game called the Swarm. Is it down here? Yes, it is. There's a weapon in this game called the Swarm. There's another weapon in this game called the Cannon. Well, Earthshaker. I call it a cannon. So imagine you and your team are looting. I can't get up there. Imagine you and your team are looting. This Viper is up here. She sees you guys. She charges this all the way up. Legendary Swarm. By the time you get the chance to gather yourself, your armor's probably gone and probably some of your health. So like I said, the floor is lava. Do not stay on the ground. In my opinion, stay up high. It's just like any other battle royale. Keep high ground. When you have high ground, you have the advantage. Because you're shooting down at them, and they're shooting up at you. Now, if they hit you, what do they have to do? They have to climb up this building. They have to go through these animations of climbing up the building where you could get a free hit on them. Whereas if you knock one of them or you hit them, all you have to do is jump off the building and sprint to them. They have to do extra effort to get up to you. So always keep high ground. The floor is lava. Let's get into dodge rolling. Now, dodge rolling in this game, it can be efficient and sometimes not efficient at all, especially against like maybe like a greatsword user. The greatsword has a very wide slash. Its verticals and horizontals are very hard to dodge. In the scenario of a greatsword user, what I will say is if they are swinging at you. Now remember, the greatsword does kind of have a slower rev up other than the katana and the longsword. Parry it. Just parry it. I'm not saying sitting there and do this, because that'll get you killed. You spamming parry will get you killed. Don't do that. Just be ready for them. A lot of times when you see a greatsword user coming at you, they hit you with that first swing. Their second swing, they will glow blue. When they glow blue, just be ready to parry immediately. Well, not really immediately, but just be ready. When they glow blue, that means they're continuing the combo, and you should parry it. Now, this isn't about parrying. Parrying is pretty self-explanatory anyways. You parry the guy, they lose their weapon, you get a free massive hit on them. A lot of times it may lead to a kill. Now, with dodge rolling, say I take the katana, and somebody's just swinging wild at you, and maybe you're scared to parry or something like that, or maybe you think I should just get away from this guy and get distance. When they're just swinging at you, one thing I've kind of noticed, I would say dodging left and dodging right, or maybe more horizontally, is the best. You dodging into them is not really good because you probably still get hit. You dodging back can be good, but against a greatsword user, if you dodge backwards, they are still going to hit you. They are still going to hit you. Like I said, greatsword users are kind of the exception of all this. You just want to parry a greatsword user so you can get the advantage. Everything else, you are able to dodge a lot easier, and get your advantage that way. Now, one thing about the dodge mechanic that some people do a lot is the musket. When you shoot it, your character has that little cocking animation, right? I think it's the same thing for the bow in a way. Not really. We'll just use the musket in this scenario. Well, guns in general. So like the pistol, the musket, the Earthshaker especially. So when you shoot, it has that little cocking animation. Okay, and when you shoot, you are slow. Look how slow I am. because of the cocking animation. That's like a solid 3 seconds of you not moving fast at all. Now the thing is, if you shoot dodge roll, it kind of cancels the animation. I don't think it's like a lot faster. I think it may be like a second faster to just dodge and then reshoot instead of waiting. But there's also technically hip fire in this game. I don't know if a lot of people really know that. Because the musket you can just aim in and shoot and you're slow, but it's more accurate, but you can just shoot it and move. But when I'm in like snipe battles or anything like that, and I know the guy might be really good, he might be better than me, I usually shoot, he'll shoot, I'll dodge, shoot again, he'll shoot, I'll dodge, and go on from there. Now, one thing you want to keep in consideration, do not use up all your stamina, especially if you know his teammates are pushing, because if you're out of stamina, you are screwed. Don't use it unless you really need to. The stamina is also like the grappling hook, it's your lifeline. You need it to get in and out. The best scenario here is the cannon, because if you shoot the cannon, look how slow I am. A lot of people in this game, they will jump, shoot, dash, jump, shoot, dash, jump, shoot, dash, jump, shoot, dash, jump, shoot, dash. And that makes for the cannon being probably one of the best ranged weapons in this game, because it does tons of damage. You can't parry ranged weapons, and it's just amazing. It's an amazing weapon, you know. It's one of the few ranged weapons that you can use up close. The pistol could kind of be like considered like a shotgun, but unless they ever put like a shotgun or something in this game, this is really the only weapon that you want to use up close. You don't want to use a Midair up close because you have to rev it up. You know, you want to use a Midair from far. A musket, you can use it up close. That's if you are very confident with the shot. You know, things like that. But then there's obviously something like the Sacred Flame, which I guess you could say is like a shotgun, because you have to get close with it. You have to. And for the most part, the Sacred Flame is good. It is bad. The only time that I ever say the Sacred Flame is good is, say you go to finish the combo and of your sword slashes and they're knocked down. Swap, flame them. Because when they're on the ground, they have invincible frames a lot of times, and you can't hit them. You can't like re-pick them back up unless they're like spamming like dash and they get up. You're going to hit them again. But sometimes you can just lay there. Some people don't realize you can just lay there. The greatsword, on the other hand, I think it does pick you up, so don't lay there against a greatsword user. But for the most part, you can kind of just lay there, and you'll have like iframes. That's why you pull out a Secret Flame, and you burn them while they're on the ground and trying to get back up. Just make sure you swap back immediately to your sword, so you're ready to fight again. Because if you get caught out with a Sacred Flame, it's going to be rough for you. That is it for dodge rolling. Well, I guess that's not it for dodge rolling. There is an extra dodge that you can do, but it will use all of your stamina. It will use all of your stamina. The only time I ever double dodge is probably against a greatsword user. If somebody is shooting a Midair at me, cannon spam, or if I'm just really low and I need to get out, I will double dodge and just try to get out of there. And for the most part, I think that's it. I would show you guys the Drunk, which is the character that I use the most, because his ulti amplifies your movement. Maybe in the future I will make a montage of movement of me dodging people, juking people, things like that. Because my most favorite thing in this game is movement. That's my most favorite thing in this game. Oh yeah, I forgot. Depending on certain things that you do in the air, like Viper's F, you can dodge roll out of the air. If you use an ability in the air, you can dodge roll out of the air. But let's have a wrap up. Rule number 1, always keep moving. That's the main rule. Keep moving. Don't stop moving. If you stop moving just for a little bit to loot, to heal, there's probably another party coming up on you guys because they heard the fighting or they seen the fighting, and more than likely you're going to die. Rule number 2, the floor is lava. The floor is lava. Stay off the floor. Stay up on buildings. Stay in trees. Is there a tree around here that I can show you guys an example? No, I don't think there is. One thing about trees in this game is they act as bushes, like say other BRs like Fortnite, Apex, things like that, stuff like that. You can hide up in the trees and you're completely invisible. People can find you, but just keep that in mind, that trees can really help you out in escaping, especially when you have grappling hooks, because you can go from tree to tree. So the floor is lava. Stay up, keep high ground. Do not go down on low ground unless you guys are securing something, unless you're going together or if somebody's watching for you or watching your back or things like that. Do not go on the ground unless you really need to. The only time I'm ever on the ground the most is if I'm like running from storm or I'm rotating around the map to try to find more people. Number 3, stamina with dodge rolls. You know, conserve your stamina. Try to conserve your stamina as much as possible. I understand maybe this great sword user or this guy is spamming left click at you, and maybe you're new at the game or something and you're just like panicking. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. I can't do anything. I can't do anything. I can't do anything. Just remember, when they're doing this, if they're just spamming left click, hell, even if they hit right click, parry. Just parry. Just time the parry. Don't spam it. Time the parry. Collect yourself. If you time the parry, you'll disarm them and you'll get major damage on them. And then the tide of the fight is turned. The fighting is like a mix-up ordeal. It's a 50-50. I see it as a fighting game in a way. You know, you just want to mix your opponent up. You want to have the read of, oh, they're going to parry. You know, oh, they're going to dodge this way, that way. You know, should I heavy attack? Should I charge attack? Should I left click more? You know, things like that. It's all like a fighting game. It's a 50-50. You know, just stay on your toes. And that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. Remember to stay moving. The floor is lava. And conserve your stamina. I'm not saying that these will help you become the best at this game, but in my opinion, they will help your game out a lot because this game is all about movement. Okay, I'm not going to say it's all about movement, but in my opinion, probably 80% of this game is movement. 80% of this game is movement. Because if you can outmove your opponents, you can outplay them. You can outplay anybody if you can outmove them. Because eventually either they're going to lose you or they're just going to give up. They're just going to give up. They're going to completely forget about you. Maybe they're going to go loot. They're going to go loot. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to be standing still when they're looting. What are you going to do? Pull out your Midair. Charge it up on a building. You have high ground. Shoot down at them. Get that free damage in. Turn the tide of the fight. Keep moving. Do not stop moving. And I promise you, it will help out your game a lot. I will be back with more videos, maybe more guides, tutorials, anything like that, depending on how well this does. But anyways, this is Kazuya Johnson. Until next time.